know. I don't know why it's giving me the weirdness. Ladies, is it feminist to cook your red meats? You've never had a giant fetus in your uterus that you had to haul around and try to sleep with. Of course you don't understand. I didn't know that someone needed to teach us that. If you're new and you'd like to subscribe, we'd love to have you. Today we're going through medical TikToks that I think probably should be individually banned if we are not going to ban TikTok itself. We have enough work to do on the internet as doctors who are trying to prevent misinformation and dumb advice. So throw it in the trash. Get rid of it.
I'm anti-feminist. Of course I birthed my baby at home.
I'm anti-feminist. Of course I birthed my baby at home. Is that an anti-feminist thing to do? I must have missed the part where feminists said we have to deliver our babies in hospitals. That's the rule.
I'm anti-feminist. Of course I track my menstrual cycle instead of taking toxic birth control.
Wow, I must also be anti-feminist because I also track my cycle and don't take hormonal birth control. Not because I think it's toxic, just because that's where I'm at in life and what I want to do. But I didn't realize I was anti-feminist because of that. Fascinating. I also missed the boat of where the feminists said, you can't be feminist unless you definitely take hormonal birth control. It's not toxic, by the way. That is silly and alarmist.
I'm anti-feminist. Of course, I healed my menstrual cycle with raw liver and beef after 8 years of veganism.
Ladies, is it feminist to cook your red meats? Because I also must have missed the memo on that one. But now I'm confused because I thought I was a feminist, but then they said I'm an anti-feminist. And now I know I cook my red meat, and I think that means I'm feminist again, but I'm also not taking hormonal birth control and I track my cycle. Ban TikTok.
I'm anti-feminist. Of course I know I can do whatever a man can do. Why would I want to?
That's not anti-feminist. And also, does that make me feminist or anti-feminist? I don't think that the feminists said, we can do everything a man can do, and you have to do that. I believe it was, we are equal, and you don't have to stay home barefoot in the kitchen holding a baby while you make your angry, bitter, cheating, misogynistic husband dinner. I think that's what they said, but it could be that you have to want to do everything they do.
POV. You're almost 37 weeks pregnant and your OB doesn't seem to be concerned with how much weight you've been gaining and how swollen your feet, legs are getting.
She says, I'm being monitored for preeclampsia, no symptoms besides swelling. So it does seem like her OB is probably concerned about it if they're monitoring and have discussed with her preeclampsia symptoms. There are certain things that could be alarming about having swelling in pregnancy, but also it's really, really common, and it's not usually alarming unless it's paired with other things. Usually when I talk to my patients about this, I want to know, like, is it worse in the morning or at night, or is there no difference? Is it worse when you've been standing up on your feet all day? Are you having headaches or vision changes or weird pains in your tummy? Does your heart feel weird? Are you getting palpitations? Are you short of breath? Anything else going on? Are you swollen other places? And then we're going to get labs and check your blood pressure and look at, the fluid around baby and do a whole lot of workup. But like, if all of that's normal, then the answer is monitoring for preeclampsia. So I'm not sure that it's fair to say the OB isn't concerned, but also maybe they aren't, and maybe they should be, and they haven't done the workup. I don't know. If they've already done the workup and they haven't found anything, it can be very normal to have swelling in pregnancy.
Women have 2 internal timekeepers and men only have 1. So we both have our circadian rhythm, which is the 24-hour cycle that regulates our sleep and wake hours. But in addition to the circadian rhythm, women also have an infradian rhythm.
All right, I'm not gonna lie, I have never heard that word. However, please tell me this person is not about to literally say, here's why women and men aren't equal. Women have hormone cycles. Thank you, Captain Obvious. We were all aware that women have sleep and menstrual cycles. I didn't know that someone needed to teach us that.
So, given that a man's body is regulated only by the circadian rhythm and a woman's body is regulated by both, it would make sense that a woman's body would function differently than a man's does.
Okay, nobody's ever claimed that our bodies don't function differently. What is this? I don't think anyone's confused. Is anyone confused about this? Now that I've looked up what an infradian rhythm is, and it's just a cycle in the body that is more than 24 hours, where a circadian rhythm is like your sleep-wake 24-hour cycle. Your hair growth and falling out cycle is also an infradian rhythm. So there's many types of things that can be a cycle in the body, apparently. I've never heard of this. But you know what? I don't really think this is news. Okay, all right. Sorry, distracted. Already down a rabbit hole.
Women only feel, function, and look their best when they are exercising, living, and eating in accordance to their cycles.
That is stupid. You certainly have different times in your cycle where you feel different based on what your hormone levels are, but you're not only living your best life if you are catering your entire life around those hormonal cycles. You should listen to your body and feel how you feel and do things in accordance to how you feel and not beat yourself up if you're tired one day and not the next. But you can live your best life without, completely cycle tracking everything you do.
On the other hand, a man's testosterone is organized around the circadian rhythm. It peaks in the early morning hours and then drops lowest in the evening. And this is how a daily work cycle is organized in the average developed country. This is why a man can do the same things, eat relatively the same way, exercise the same way, day in and day out, and fully thrive. However, if a woman were to do this, she would crash and burn, and we see this a lot in society.
Yeah, because men never crash and burn. This is silly. This is a classic thing that they do. And not that I don't know anything about this person, but when you see people on the internet and they're sharing information, they'll do this thing where they say factual things like, people who are cis women have hormonal cycles and people who are cis men don't. Facts. Yeah, facts, circadian rhythm. Everybody has one. Mine happens to be really up at the moment and all the time. Thank you. Having kids and working crazy hours as an obstetrician, waking up at all hours. Anyway, I digress. I am on a tangent. They will say factual things and then they will link it to craziness, right? So facts. Circadian rhythms exist. Hormonal cycles exist. Fact. The developed world is set up to have productivity in the day and not at night. And that's a daily thing. And it just changes on the weekends. I guess she's left that part out, but whatever. And then draw a conclusion that isn't drawn by that. This is why women crash and burn. Okay, well, why do men crash and burn? Right? I don't get it. Fact, random conclusion.
This all falls under the idea that we live in a man's world, and this is why we see so many health complications for women. Overall, if you're a woman, you should learn all about your cycle and how to sync with it so that
I definitely agree. You should learn how to understand your cycle if you are a cis woman or someone who has cycles like that.
I hate to tell you this, but when you're having light brown spotting before your period starts, or maybe you'd better describe it as your period starts and then it stops, that's not normal.
Hang on. It can be. So if you are having intermenstrual bleeding between cycles, even if it's just spotting, and that's happening on a regular basis, then there may be something going on that you need to get checked out. But if you have spotting and then 2 or 3 days later your period starts, that can be normal as well. And also it can be something that happens and isn't alarming or life-threatening, or intermenstrual bleeding, if it's happening regularly, can be really scary and can represent things like cervical cancer in rare cases. So you should always just check in with someone if something's going on that you're not sure, but it can be normal.
By a show of hands, how many women who's had this happen has been told in the past that it is completely fine?
Okay, there's a difference between completely fine and normal, right? So is it normal? Well, no. Most of the time, what we see is this normal, change in your hormones with bleeding happening at the time you're on your period. So that's normal. Something being not completely normal doesn't mean that it's never also fine. I'll have people come in all the time. They're having a little bit of intermenstrual bleeding. We do all the appropriate workup, find nothing. And I tell them, it's fine. But if it keeps happening and it's bothering you, or if it's interfering in some way, or it's going on and it's not just, an isolated few months that it's happening, come back and we'll talk about it and see what we want to do about it. It can be fine and also not textbook normal, right? But you should always just check with your doctor or healthcare professional.
Except I bet this problem is causing a lot of your other issues too. You know how you're having PMS and mood swings, maybe you're super anxious, have trouble sleeping before your period comes too? That's probably related too.
Hang on. All right. So I'm going to guess that what she's about to say is your progesterone is low. And your progesterone being low is not what causes premenstrual hormone changes. That's silly. And that is not always what causes spotting between cycles or before your cycle starts.
This is a luteal phase.
That's not how you spell it. It's Luteal, but thank you.
So what exactly does that mean in normal terms? It means that your progesterone's probably low. After we ovulate, this is called our luteal phase.
It's driving me nuts that the captions are spelled wrong.
This hormone matters even if you don't want to get pregnant, because it's the reason that you're having light spotting right before your period, or it starts and then it stops.
It could be the reason. Okay, I wish medicine was that easy. I wish I could be like, oh, you're having this? Well, let me tell you, your progesterone is low. That is definitely the reason. Like, that is a reason that sometimes that happens.
Or maybe you're having PMS or hormonal mood swings, something like that.
Not quite. That's not what causes PMS. Like, luteal phase defects exist, and they're typically considered to be related to the corpus luteum not producing enough progesterone. Their clinical significance is a bit debated, and it's hard to even find really good information because it's not something we have a lot of information on, but it's not the cause of that.
This also means that there's a way to fix this so that you're not having brown spotting or light spotty periods anymore either. Stay tuned for part 2 about how to actually nourish progesterone levels so that you don't continue to have this problem.
Can't wait. I'll stay tuned. I just get really irritated with people who give such oversimplified and matter-of-fact information about things that are incredibly nuanced. Honestly, that's one reason I really lean to doing YouTube videos over shorter form content. I do make some shorter form content, but I find it really difficult to make content that I feel appropriately includes the important nuance in these conversations when I'm just doing short form. And it really irritates me when people are so completely dismissive of how the things that they're saying are being presented in this matter-of-fact, this is the only way it could be way, and completely ignore that there is so much more to this than, oh, you're having spotting before your period, your progesterone's low, and I can fix it for you. Like, no, it's not. Do you think I had to go to school this long because it's that easy? Come on.
I'm brave. I'm beautiful. Yes, thank you for making cookies.
I didn't know this was in here. I love Jen, and she is absolutely wonderful. And I'm really happy that that was interspersed into these because I did pick these off of a list that Karen, the production manager, gave me, but I didn't watch them before. And I had no idea there was like a humorous Jen video in this. So wonderful. Go check out Jen Hamilton. She's lovely and I love her and her content's great. So during my decision, it seems lots of women regret their inductions, me included, but no one regrets their planned C-section. Is that the general vibe? Deciding on delivery method for second set of twins in 2 days. I can't answer the first part of this, but I am very distracted as a twin mom by the fact that you said you're having your second set of twins. And you know what, girl? You just have your babies however you want and don't regret it. Just do your thing. Because you deserve a trophy of some sort. Because I would be freaking out if I was having my second set of twins.
What do I say?
What do you mean? What did he say?
Can I get a membrane sweep?
She said, I'm going to say to my doctor, can I get a membrane sweep? And honestly, girl, I get you. I have been there. Being very pregnant can be really rough sometimes. I feel for her. Like, I felt that in the depths of my soul when she said that.
No, I'm here to tell you not to do that.
No.
Yes.
What? Sorry?
No, I can kick you out. It's my legal Right.
You're right. Your body, your choice. But the baby is both of our rights.
You don't think I should? Let's talk to her about it.
You're not able to do it. You're 38 weeks, not even.
Yeah, but when you're already 4 centimeters dilated.
Okay. Wow, I'm having real mixed feelings. So it's okay to do membrane sweep, and usually I would recommend doing it like at 39 weeks because it does increase the chances of going into spontaneous labor in the next 7 days. And ideally, we would like to not just iatrogenically deliver babies prior to 39 weeks unless there's a medical indication. However, I also feel like maybe we should be like discussing this with the doctor. I don't know, something about the way that it's presented is like giving me the uncomfies. I'm sure he's well-meaning. He sounds very nice, but I don't like the way they're talking about it. I don't like how he's talking. I don't know why it's giving me the weirdness. I'm sure they're just fine.
Let's talk to her about this. She
Yeah.
Here.
39 weeks. No, we don't need it. No, I don't want a chocolate at my face. Give it to me. Come on, look, we have the chocolate now. Okay. Well, how do membrane sleep?
Let's see what the doctor says.
I don't understand why you would want to do it.
Yeah, sir, because you've never had a giant fetus in your uterus that you had to haul around and try to sleep with. Of course you don't understand. I think that's it. I think I'm getting to the, like, where the weird feeling comes from. Because he is technically right. Like, the doctor should say we should wait until 39 weeks. But, like, I really empathize with her because sometimes it really sucks to be that pregnant. And sometimes it really sucks to be pregnant at all. And, like, his job, in my opinion, is not to tell her she can or can't do something medically. Like, the doctor should say, yeah, we shouldn't do that yet because it's not far enough along. His job is to say, I cannot imagine how uncomfortable you must feel carrying that baby around. And thank you so much for growing our child and dedicating your body to this job. It is undoubtedly uncomfortable and difficult and scary and changes your body and your brain in ways that I could never even imagine. We will talk to your doctor about that because I understand how uncomfortable you are because you told me. And then I do kind of think that we probably should wait until 39 weeks because I've read that's what's in the best interest of baby, but let's talk to your doctor about it and get their opinion.
Crazy that you don't understand why. Have you seen me this last week?
I know you want to have the baby, but is it, for one, safe? The baby's only 37 weeks.
38.
So she said she's 38 and like 4 in the caption. So like, I feel like we're arguing over a little bit of silliness at this point, but you know what? Again, I don't think it's the topic that made that give me the cringe. It was the seeming lack of ability to validate her feelings that was going on. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Let's ban TikTok. I'll see you next time. I hope you learned something.